for you to share your heart, and thank you for coming on today. I love
Oh
you.
my God. I love hearing all the evolutionary development with the islands of coherence. And it's just fabulous to reframe a 3 month retreat as influences in our uplift process as an ongoing living experience. I love that. And it just frames it in such a beautiful way that it has to be integrated and embodied, and so the emergence can happen. So thank you for all the work you guys and your team have been doing. It's beautiful. Thank you. So I want to say, I'll share something about this. This started when the Global Coherence Pulse with Jude Curvin, where I was so moved by what happened a year ago that I was moved to tears in a way that didn't even care about what anybody thought. And I thought, I didn't know that could happen online. So that was the beginning. And then I had this experience with you in Rest in Resonance. And I had such a monumental revelation where, we came up with this phrase where we listened to music together, and it gave life to the understanding that in physics, we're not spectators, we're affecting everything that we're seeing as in real time, right? So what happened during Rest in Resonance was I found a place for the music that I've created, hundreds of pieces of music over the last 40 years, to fit in the arc that Shelley and Jan had come up with for Days of Resonance. And as we listened, really assisted by your consciousness, Teresa, in guiding me that first day, and let me welcome people and let you introduce. And we found our way with, how to do this. And we came up with this phrase, no molecule left behind. And it was what it was this sense. And I've recently been corrected, like, we can't go molecules because people think them as physical 3D objects, and it's part of the field. So what is it? No photon left behind, no wave and particle left behind. I don't know. We've got to come up with this. But it's really excited me to come up with this explicit way that then evolved into this thing I did for Humanity Rising called the Listening Fire. And I love that you have these fireside experiences, right? Or circling the fire. So what I'm beginning to realize is, as we listen together, the very thing that Zoom created, which was being thrown into the deep end of the pool of no bioproximity, no magnetic experience that HeartMath has proven over the last 30 years, is that we had to develop a resonance capacity, awareness of resonance. And what I noticed, because I've been very immature around energy and intuition over the years, but except when it pertains to music, but suddenly I recognized when we were together, and I wish I could see you and I on the screen right now, anyway, we'll do that in a minute, but it's like I started to perceive that my awareness of the communitas, of the communal experience of listening, enabled us to get right with ourselves and with our capacities to feel resonance with each other. That wasn't just language. It was literally a photonic melding an awareness field that was emerging into an awareness of the interdependence and interconnectedness, and the role that music, particularly generative music, when it was aligned with an intention and a purpose, which is what those days were, and which is what I did on the Listening Fire, and which is what I hope to do with World Unity Week. I never knew that when you stepped away and you allowed the listening to do its magic, the field allowed us to come into awareness of the resonance in every dimension possible: body, heart, mind, and soul. And so suddenly I become, largely because of that experience, I'm looking for a new term. Is it vibrational coherence? I mean, it's a way to just understand it, of course, because it's all coherence. Heart coherence means everything coherence, right? But is it epigenetic coherence? Is it photonic coherence? Right? It doesn't really matter, but I want to say it because I want specifically us to have the revelation together that listening is way more than we think. Listening together is exponentially way more than we think. So when we listen to this piece of music I might play in a little bit, It's not a passive act. So what this means is when you do these events and these listening fires and these wonderful opportunities for chats and all these things, you're injecting these energetically powered pebbles in the field that allow the ripples to go out into people's bodies, hearts, souls, and minds in a way that actually empowers you into your emergence process, that gives you the space within the month, within the 2 months, within the 3 months, to let the listening, the field, the emergence actually land in your neuronal experience, in your neuronal behavioral pathways of experience. So a lot of words, I'm sorry, but when I'm asked to speak about this thing, yeah, you know that I gush about it because it's really fresh paint. It's really fresh news for me. And it's also personally, as you know, given me a place to stand where everything I thought I created over the last 35 years for egoic or financial or whatever purposes suddenly fit into a constellation of purpose that I never saw coming, you know? And that's why I will be a passionate contributor, ally, and supporter of Islands of Coherence as this proceeds and as I have time to flesh out my community called Wisdom of the World. And I just can't think of a better way to do that with like-minded souls than this way.
Thank you, Gary. And I just want to acknowledge, I think in many ways we're creating this retreat for ourselves, right? Because we're all like those of us that we're awake and we're really working hard to let go of those parts that hold us back and really come into this place of consistent and sustained coherence in the face of what we're facing. And I really love your, just authentic expression of that occurring for you. And that's the invitation for the community. Like, let's come together and really share what it takes. Become islands of coherence in this unprecedented moment. And the fact that we'll be able to do that together over this period of time makes my heart sing. And I know it's going to help us all. Yeah. So Gary, you were just going to offer us up maybe one of your little treats just so that we could have a moment of that listening together before we move into the last part of our session.
Well, yeah, thanks. When you said you wanted it to be a little bit more uplifting today in the spirit of that, I chose a track that you've heard before from Rest in Residence called Oh, Let Me Open. And it was from Jason Schulman. And the reason I love it, number one, is we are the capacity we have to amplify exponentially our experience when we sing to ourselves in the shower, in community, even if we're not hearing each other. So I love that aspect. And I also love the fact that we're all really good creators, but we're not good parents. And what I mean is around our creative works. So Jason and I toiled over this album. He's a beautiful, non-dual, Kabbalistic Buddhist rabbi, has an organization called Society of Souls. And we spent so much time and energy building these songs for God. And then we didn't do very much to promote it. And so nobody knows about it. And then we did it 15 years ago. So I love that we can share. These are all songs to God that have been created for the purpose of doing exactly what the lyrics say. So I'm going to share this as a listening experience. It's meant to be embodied, it's meant to be sung, and listen to the words. I'm going to put the words in the chat once I get this going. Just want to say what a privilege it is to be invited to this, to be able to share. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
And let yourself listen with every part of your body. Take your videos off to celebrate. Gallery view.
Oh, let me open in my dreams. Oh, let me open in my pain. I know you are there. I know you are there. I listen. Let me open in my dreams. Oh, been my midnight. I have prayed to you in every way that I can. I speak to you in shouts and whispers. Oh, please, won't you show me your plan? Oh, let me open in my dreams. Oh, let me open in my pain. I know you are there. I know you are there. I listen. Oh, let me open in my dreams. Oh, let me open in my pain. I know you are there. I know you are there. I listen. Time to stop, no place to go. My heart is strong when I hear you sing. No more yesterdays, no more tomorrows. I want to learn to let things be. I want to know you in my dreams, know you in my pain. I want to call out your name again and again.
That's great, Gary.
Hey, thank you, you guys. Yeah,
That was so fun.
I'm telling you, listening together online will never be the same again after what we went through, Teresa. And I really hope that we can revisit that format some other day, some other time. But now I understand why I haven't been able to get your attention. Well, you've had more of a hard time getting me. But now that I see what you're creating, namaste to you, sister. Thank you.
Well, yes, it takes a whole team, thank God, to do that. All right.